phone in the world where those words are inconsistent. If you look at our call logs, you'll see that in the 10 to 15 years that we've likely known one another, we've probably spoken on the phone 10 times. During that time, you didn't call me to check on me and see if I'm okay. So I'm once again perplexed as to why you're so focused on being with me when there are more important issues to deal with. You won't believe what I'm about to say. What were they hiding? What could possibly be so big and scandalous that Rasheeda, the very woman they've tried to silence, is ready to risk everything and expose their deepest secret? The drama you thought you knew is nothing compared to what's coming. The night that Yandy Kirk thought would never see the light of day is about to drag them both through the dirt. And the truth is so insane it will leave you speechless. This is the real deal, people. We're talking betrayal, lies, and a night that will rock the foundation of what we thought we knew about these reality TV stars. Rasheeda has been holding far too long, and now she's changing the story. Neither Kirk nor Yandy saw it, and I promise you won't either. Brace yourself because the truth is going to get much darker than anyone could have predicted. If you thought the drama on reality TV couldn't get any more intense, to set the scene, let's start with Yandy Kirk and Yandy, two names that have been at the center of numerous controversies. Rasheeda Ever, the unpredictable force, has finally had enough and is prepared to reveal the truth. Not just any truth, but a truth that will alter your perspective of these two. But before we do that, let's go back a little because there is more to their drama than what we have seen on screen. This is a level that has been kept hidden from the public eye, a dark secret that has been carefully guarded until now. We're talking about a night so explosive that it's almost as if it was meant to stay locked away, hidden from the world. It wasn't supposed to be uncovered. It was supposed to stay buried under layers of rumors and gossip. Kirk has had their fair share of public run-ins. Yes, they've been caught in lies, shady situations, and occasionally even very questionable moments. But this is a whole different level of betrayal, and it goes deeper than any on-screen drama. I'm still not entirely sure why Rasheeda chose to reveal the truth in the midst of everything. Could she have been preparing for this moment for months? Or did she simply feel that it was time to speak up? In any case, her revelations are set to completely change the story of Yandy Kirk. Let's now discuss why Rasheeda, who has a complex past with these two, felt that now was the right moment to expose them and more. Crucially, why has she chosen this specific secret? According to people familiar with the matter, Rasheeda had been keeping this information for some time and was fully aware of the affair. Yes, the affair that Yandy Kirk had been concealing for a long time. But why now? Apparently, the straw broke the camel's back following a recent altercation that drove Rasheeda to her breaking point. Sources say that Rasheeda saw something at a recent private event. There was tension in the air, and it was obvious that something was wrong with the initially innocent gathering between Yandy and Kirk. Rasheeda, being the astute woman she is, knew exactly what she was seeing, and that there was more going on behind closed doors than just casual conversation. As they say, when you see two people acting a little too cozy, there's usually more going on than meets the eye, and that's exactly what Rasheeda saw. The night that changed everything was a night that no one, not even Yandy Kirk, expected to be exposed. What they believed to be a secret rendezvous turned into a ticking time bomb, waiting to explode in the ground. Rasheeda didn't just walk away from that encounter. Instead, she took action and began digging. What she discovered wasn't just your typical affair. It was a web of lies, deceit, and manipulation that stretched far beyond what anyone could have imagined. To put it simply, Yandy and Kirk were caught in the act. They believed they were being slick, but they underestimated Rasheeda's instincts. What was supposed to be a casual night out for them turned into a crucial turning point in the story. Their faces, and worse, their perfect images they've worked so hard to build, are about to crumble under the weight of the truth, and Rasheeda is ready to pull back the curtain. Rasheeda wasn't having it. She saw through their lies and is now prepared to reveal every single detail of the leaked reports, which are clear and include evidence, documents, and photos. It was a night of whispered words and stolen glances that would later become the subject of a huge public scandal. But wait, this isn't just about a simple affair. Oh no, this is bigger. It's about power, betrayal, and manipulation. The relationship between Yandy and Kirk was based on deception, manipulation, and false pretenses, as evidenced by recordings that show the affair was much more than a one-time error. Now that it's all coming to light, Rasheeda is prepared to show the world how deep the rabbit hole goes, but the big question is still why she waited until now to expose them. The answer is in the complex web of their relationships and the personal betrayals that preceded this point. You can see that Rasheeda's history with Yandy and Kirk isn't as straightforward as it may appear. In reality, their tensions date back a long way, and they weren't just any two people. Instead, they had a complex and frequently antagonistic bond that had stoked the flames of jealousy and competition. As their interactions grew more heated, Rasheeda felt as though she was being ignored. Rasheeda had always sensed that something wasn't right between the two, but she was unable to prove it until now. Armed with indisputable proof, Rasheeda was prepared to make her move. But was it personal, or was she just attempting to shed light on a toxic situation that was about to implode? Perhaps a little bit of both, but one thing is certain. Rasheeda's truth bomb is one that cannot be disregarded. She is out for blood, and she is not holding back. Now that the pieces of the puzzle are beginning to come together, it is time to delve deeply into this scandal. And believe me when I say that what we are about to discover is not just a straightforward case. Rather, it is a complex web of deceit, manipulation, and treachery that has completely upended the reality TV industry. If you found Rasheeda's shocking revelation to be shocking, wait until you hear the rest of the story. It's not just about an affair between Yandy and Kirk. Oh no, this is about a much deeper conspiracy, and we're going to dissect it like never before. Let's start with the revelation of not just an affair, but a deliberate, long-running scheme to sway public opinion. Two of the most adored and notorious characters in the love and hip-hop franchise, Yandy and Kirk, have been living double lives and plotting behind the scenes for years. According to leaked reports, Yandy and Kirk were not only having an affair, but were also involved in some very shady financial dealings, using their image and influence to manipulate their fans, the media, and even other cast members. According to sources close to the situation, the affair was not just a mistake, but a carefully planned, purposeful act. Members for personal gain, yes, you read correctly, these weren't merely casual hookups. Rather, they were a part of a bigger plan to use their fame and power to profit from their celebrity status. Let's start by breaking down the public personas of Yandy and Kirk. On the surface, they appear to be the ideal couple, always posting happy pictures on social media and attending events as though they're a couple. But behind closed doors, they're an utterly different story. A source close to both of them at the time claims that their relationship was based on lies from the beginning. They were secretly meeting and texting frequently, planning how to conceal their affair while preserving their flawless public persona. What's even more bizarre is how they were using their relationship to control the other members of the cast and consequently their fans. The affair wasn't just a side dish, it was a part of a much larger plan. In the bigger picture, Yandy and Kirk were aware of the importance of their reputations to their careers, but in practice, their relationship was toxic and full of secrets. And it was all about who could use whom to advance in their careers. Other cast members were also drawn into the mess, according to sources, who claim that while they were skulking behind Rasheeda's back, they were also planning complex plots to manipulate the show's plot. Rasheeda wasn't just going to sit back and let it all happen. No. She had long seen through their act, and now was her chance to reveal the truth. What she discovered during her investigation into their secret life was nothing short of jaw-dropping. It wasn't just the affair, it was everything. They were continuously feeding producers fake storylines, putting others under the bus, and playing the victim when it suited them. One of the most startling revelations came from a source who claimed that Yandy and Kirk had been using their affair as a negotiating chip to control their careers. Other leaked financial documents revealed that they had been siphoning money off the top of their various ventures and allegedly using their reality TV income to fund personal businesses, all the while making it seem like their lives were as glamorous and carefree as what we saw on screen. In essence, their affair was being used as leverage to secure better deals for themselves while keeping everyone else in the dark. However, Rasheeda's sources also uncovered some seriously shady business practices, including reports that Kirk and Yandy were funneling money from their own company to influence important players in the industry, such as producers and other cast members. into accepting lower salaries in exchange for remaining silent about their secret. Rasheeda wasn't the only cast member to notice the warning signs. Some of the other cast members had begun to learn about what was going on behind the scenes and were prepared to reveal secrets. We're talking about anonymous sources who have come forward with insider information. If this is true, production. Companies are hiding their earnings in offshore accounts and taxes. If this is the case, we're dealing with a huge scandal that could result in criminal charges. Information that totally changes the plot. According to an insider, Yandy Kirk and the rest of the cast were engaged in a fierce power struggle. That Kirk and Yandy were using their affair to keep everyone else in line. If anyone questioned them, they were threatened with a huge scandal that could ruin their careers. Can you imagine the pressure of always having to tread carefully, fearing that your next move would trigger them and result in your public humiliation? National television, followed by the leaked audio. Yes, you read correctly, from a private conversation between Yandy and Kirk that was recently discovered. In the recording, they can be heard discussing their affair in startling detail, planning how to keep it a secret while still making sure they remain the most talked about couple in the franchise. They even go so far as to make fun of their fans for believing the false image they have created for themselves by calling their audience naive fools. Now that everything is in black and white, the backlash has been swift and harsh, leaving fans who once loved Yandy and Kirk reeling from the betrayal. Social media is exploding with outrage, and even former cast members are sharing their thoughts. Yandy and Kirk exposed is trending globally, with fans calling for the network to sever its connections with. The fallout from this scandal is just getting started, but what does it mean for Yandy Kirk and Rasheeda? There are rumors that the network may have to take legal action against them, possibly removing them from the show entirely. There is also talk of government investigations into the financial misconduct, which, if accurate, could escalate into a full-fledged criminal investigation. Now that the truth has been revealed, it's time to examine the fallout from this massive scandal. Yandy and Kirk believed they could keep their dark secrets hidden forever, but as we all know, every lie eventually finds its way back to haunt you. The fallout from their affair, their financial manipulation, and their web of deceit is extensive, and will have consequences that neither of them ever imagined. Now it's about their careers, reputations, and future in the industry, rather than just their personal lives. To start, let's discuss the public outcry. Fans who once adored these two are now turning against them all over the internet. People who once looked up to Yandy and Kirk as the ultimate power couple are now criticizing them for their brand deals are being canceled, their endorsements are dwindling, and their supposedly flawless image is collapsing faster than a house of cards because they are nothing more than dishonest liars, manipulative opportunists, and frauds. But it gets worse because, as we have repeatedly witnessed with public figures, the moment you are exposed for something this shocking, the vultures start circling, and former cast members who were previously afraid to speak out are now coming forward with an anonymous source claimed that Yandy had once attempted to blackmail a fellow cast member to keep quiet about her affair with Kirk, threatening to ruin their career if they didn't comply. Another former cast member disclosed that Kirk had used his position as a producer to manipulate storylines and pressure others into silence while his secret affair was taking place. Stories are like a domino effect, with each revelation making things worse for Yandy and Kirk. The background, and not to mention the explosive nature of the financial side of things, leaked documents have now come to light, revealing the extent of the financial mismanagement and possible criminal activity that Kirk and Yandy were involved in. The allegations are so serious that they have prompted calls for a full-blown investigation. We may be discussing federal charges, fines, and possibly even criminal prosecution. The two of them could face jail time. Their wealth, status, and industry influence may have shielded them thus far, but the truth is indisputable, and the law will eventually catch up with them. Let's now discuss the potential legal repercussions of this. We've already discussed the mounting pressure for an official investigation, but what does that actually mean for Yandy and Kirk? The network is under intense scrutiny, with some fans calling for relationships with the couple right away. The legal team is reportedly examining contracts in an attempt to determine how to disassociate themselves from the scandal without seriously harming the brand. However, the damage has already been done, and no amount of PR gimmicks or contract renegotiations can spare them from the oncoming wave of criticism. But it doesn't end there. According to people familiar with the matter, there are even rumors that the network could go so far. Regarding the cancellation of the entire Love and Hip Hop franchise, the show has already been losing viewers and public interest in recent years. If this scandal gets any worse, it could be the last straw for the series. Although Yandy and Kirk may believe they can handle the storm, they are facing a storm of unprecedented proportions. It's not just about their entire livelihoods being on the line. That both Kirk and Yandy are running out of time to save what little they have left. Kirk's dubious business practices have made him a prime target for authorities, and Yandy's reputation is in ruins. Both of them have few choices: come clean and face the consequences of their actions, or fight back with more lies and deceit. But here's the twist. Could there be more to this story than meets the eye? Although it sounds crazy, some insiders are beginning to believe that the entire scandal was staged to increase ratings and revitalize the Love and Hip Hop brand. If Yandy and Kirk were really trying to ruin their careers, why would they release so much personal information about themselves? Could it be that they are playing a long game, using the media's fixation with scandal to fuel a comeback? The situation is getting out of control, and there is no way to undo the damage that has already been done. Yandy and Kirk's reputation is in ruins, and it's difficult to imagine how they'll ever regain the trust of their fans, the industry, or their fellow cast members. The financial ramifications are huge, and the legal repercussions are severe. Calculated move to get people talking again because, after all, there is no such thing as bad press, are looming large. It's safe to say that the public has turned against Yandy and Kirk. Their brand is toxic. Their social media accounts are overflowing with hate comments, and every move they make is being closely examined. What was once a dream, life of fame and fortune, has now devolved into a nightmare of betrayal, lies, and broken illusions. Now let's discuss the last nail in the coffin. Rasheeda is not backing down. In fact, she is doubling down with the evidence she has gathered and the public's support behind her. She has become a hero to the fans who were once harmed by Yandy and Kirk's lies, and producers are already offering her contracts to be a mainstay in upcoming seasons. She is also reportedly in talks with a number of high-profile media outlets. On about the affair, such as text messages, images, and exclusive interviews with close friends and family. The public is consuming it all, admiring Rasheeda's bravery and resolve in bringing the truth to light, and Yandy and Kirk are left to pick up the broken pieces of their careers with nowhere to turn. The damage has been done, and there is no turning back the love, loyalty, and fame they once shared. There you have it, people. The once untouchable Yandy and Kirk are now dealing with the fallout from their secret lives being made public. Their careers are in shambles, and the legal ramifications are just getting started. The world of hip-hop and love will never be the same, and we're eager to see what happens next. However, we'd like to know what you think. Is this the end for Yandy and Kirk, or is there more to come? If you think this news is more shocking than it first appears, please let us know in the comments section below. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more shocking scandals and stories that you won't find anywhere else. The truth is out there, and we'll always be the first to tell you about it. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.